Hello guys, welcome back to the channel once again. If you are new here, do your best to subscribe, turn on the notification bell so whenever I upload a new video, you'll be notified as soon as possible. So today we'll be learning new thing under Python strings, which is the if, the else and the if else statements, and how to answer questions under those statements. So let's get straight into business. Python conditions and if statements. Python supports the usual logical conditions from mathematics. Just like in mathematics, equal sign represents something which is the same as another thing. So here, the equal sign in Python strings, we don't use one equal sign, we use a double equal sign to represent something equal to the other. So equal, just like in this example here, A is equal to B, so we use a double equal sign. And then if something is not equal to the other, we combine an equal sign with an exclamation mark, just like here, A is not equal to B. And then a less than sign is normal, like the mathematical less than, the same as the greater than sign. And then less than or equal to, I combine a less than with an equal to sign. And then greater than and equal to is also combined with greater than sign and equal to sign. So these are the conditions we use in an if statement if you are answering if questions. These conditions can be used in several ways, most commonly in if statement and loops. An if statement is written by using the if keyword. For this example here, if statement like A is equal to 30, B is equal to 200. If B is greater than A, then print B is greater than A. It's as simple as ABC. In this example, we use two variables, A and B, which are used as part of if statement to test whether B is greater than A. As A is 30 and A is 33 and B is 200. We know that 200 is greater than 33. And so we print to the screen that B is greater than A. You remember at the beginning we learned about indentation. So in Python strings, an if statement, indentation is very important if you are writing or you are to print an if statement. So Python relies on indentation, which is the white space at the beginning of a line, to define scope in the code. Other programming languages often use curly brackets for this purpose. Like in this example, if statement without an indentation will arise or raise an error. A is equal to 33, B is equal to 200. If B is greater than A, print B is greater than A. If you write this code without giving an indentation or space at the beginning of the print or the word print, you get an error for this code. Just like here, you can see they said hash, you will get an error, you get it. But the correct thing is to give an indentation. So the next thing is the elif. The elif keyword is Python's way of saying if the previous condition were not true, then try this condition. Let's check this example. A is equal to 33, B is equal to 33. If B is greater than A, print B is greater than A. If A is equal to B, print A and B are equal. In an example, A is equal to B. In this example, A is equal to B. So the first condition is not true, but the elif condition is true. So we print to the screen that A and B are equal. And the else statement here, the else keyword catches anything which isn't caught by the preceding condition. For this example here, A is equal to 200, B is equal to 33. If B is greater than A, print B is greater than A. If A is equal to B, print A and B are equal. Else print A is greater than B. Meaning if the first condition is not true, the second condition is not true, then print the next one. That is, if B is greater than A, if B is not greater than A, and if A is not equals to B, then what? Use the else A is greater than B. Don't mind if you are not still understanding. We will answer more questions under these conditions so that you get familiar with it as time goes on. In this example, A is greater than B, so the first condition is not true. Also, the if condition is not true, so we go to the else condition and print to the screen that A is greater than B. You can also have an else without the if. Example, A is equal to 200, B is equal to 33. If B is greater than A, print B is greater than A, else print B is not greater than A. Shorthand if. If you have only one statement to execute, you can put it on the same line as if statement. For example, one line if statement. If A is greater than B, print A is greater than B. They are all on the same line. Shorthand if else. If you have only one statement to execute, one for if and one for else, you can put it all on the same line. For this example here, one line if else statement. A is equal to 2, B is equal to 330. Print A if A is greater than B, else print B. Now, you can also have multiple else statements on the same line. Check this example down below. One line if else statement with 3 conditions. A is equal to 330. B is equal to 330. Print A if A is greater than B, else print equal if A is equal to B, else print B. 3 conditions under one line. And the word end, or the keyword end. The end keyword is a logical operator and is used to combine conditional statements. For example, test if A is greater than B and if C is greater than A. A is equal to 200, B is equal to 33, C is equal to 500. If A is greater than B and C is greater than A, print both conditions are true. So we have the OR keywords here also. The OR keyword is a logical operator and is used to combine conditional statements. Let's see the example here. Test if A is greater than B or if A is greater than C. A is equal to 200, B is equal to 33, C is equal to 500. If A is greater than B or A is greater than C, print at least one of the conditions is true. Nested if. If you have, you can have if statement instead of if. Also, nested if. You can have if statement inside if statement. This is called nested if statement. For example, x is equal to 41. If x is greater than 10, print above 10. If x is greater than 20, print and also above 20. Else print but not above 20. The past statement, if statement cannot be empty, but if you for some reason have an if statement with no content, put in the past statement to avoid getting an error. like this example here, A is equal to 33, B is equal to 200. If B is greater than A, pass. Now we want to try our hands on several questions to test our knowledge of understanding. Just as I have told you before, if you haven't understand or you are finding it difficult to understand what we went through, as we answer these questions, you begin to capture the whole thing gradually. So let's try our hands on this few exercise. Now with the first exercise, it says print hello world if A is greater than B. So A is equals to 50, B is equals to 10. So here, check among these two variables, the strings assigned to them, which amount of the strings is greater than the other. You can see clearly that the string 50, which is assigned to the variable A, is greater than B. So obviously A is greater than B. So what do we put in these empty boxes to make this question correct? So here you put the word if, then we come here and put, it's true that A is greater than B, so you put the sign or the symbol of greater than, then you put here a column. Don't forget this column is very important. So let's submit and see how, yes, you can see we are correct.